So hello everyone and welcome to today's EAUC webinar. The title of this webinar is the NUS Students Green Fund Boosting Employability Skills and will last approximately an hour. It is in the Student Engagement Life Framework and in terms of competency level it is starting out / on the road. Thank you for registering and thanks also to today's speakers. We have Emily Thompson-Bell from the NUS, we have Anna Lopez from the University of Greenwich Students Union, Kate Arnold from the University of Gloucestershire Students Union and Peng Li from the University of Worcester Students Union. My name's Emma and I'm the Member Events and Communities Officer here at the EAUC. If you have any specific event, webinar or training requests, I will be happy to talk to you at any time. I also work with our community groups, so as a member of the EAUC, I encourage you to join one of our groups or communities of practice. And for more information about these and how to join can be found on the Member Zone on our website. You may have previously attended or heard of exchange webinars. These are continuing, but due to their popularity, we have developed a new range of EAUC webinars. These are for EAUC members only and are an added benefit to your membership. They are more detailed with clear learning outcomes, expert speakers, and they will allow for more complex topics. They will last between 1 and 1.5 hours, depending on the topic. Shortly after today's webinar is finished, you'll receive a certificate of attendance to place on your personal development file as a record of the training. So there's just a little bit of housekeeping to go over now. I'm hoping that everyone can hear me well. I have muted you all to avoid any background noise and you will continue to be muted throughout the webinar. If you are having any technical issues at all throughout this webinar, please let me know either posting it in the on-screen chat box or sending me an email to easton@eauc.org.uk. Hopefully most of you have working microphones. Don't worry if not, as you still have the opportunity to ask any questions at the end of today's webinar. The webinar today is being recorded and it will be uploaded as a resource with all presentations later on today on the Sustainability Exchange. Please feel free to share these resources with any colleagues or fellow EAUC members. Once the webinar has finished, you will be sent a short survey from us to gain your feedback. Please take a few minutes to complete the survey as the results will help us to improve our CPD and events. So that's all from me for now. Thank you again for registering and I will now pass you on to the first speaker who is Emily from NUS.
Welcome everybody. Yes, thanks Emma. As you said, my name's Emily Thompson-Bell. I'm Students Green Fund Programme Manager at the National Union of Students. And in April 2013, as many of you might know, the NUS were given a pot of funding from HEFCE for student union-led sustainability projects. And that funding was all given out last summer after a competitive bidding process. And we're now 8.5 months down the road with 25 Students Green Fund projects running across England, from Falmouth and Exeter Student Union down south up to Newcastle Student Union in the north of England. One of our aims through the fund was to support student employability. And in today's session, I'm joined by 3 of the Students Green Fund projects. Anna Lopez from Greenwich's Sustainability Hub, Kate Arnold from Gloucestershire's Gloucestershire project, and Peng Li from Worcester's EnergizeWorcester project. So we're going to give you an introduction to the range of opportunities and support that they're providing to students locally to become not only sustainability literate, but also to gain a whole host of other skills through their engagement with the project. I also know that the Students Green Fund projects are by no means the only examples of good practice from across the sector, and I'm really keen to open up the discussions after we've heard these presentations for those present in today's webinar to talk about what has and hasn't worked on your campuses as well. The Higher Education Academy, the HEA, defines employability as a set of achievements, skills, understandings and personal attributes that make graduates more likely to gain employment and to be successful in their chosen occupations, which benefits themselves, the workforce, the community and the economy. Over the last 3 years, we have conducted large-scale research with the HEA on student attitudes to sustainability. These findings show that 2/3 of students want to learn more about sustainability. 80% believe that sustainable development is something that which universities should actively incorporate and promote. And 2/3 said they would willingly get paid £1,000 less a year if the company that they work for had a good environmental and ethical record. So students want to engage with this agenda, gain vital employability skills. And as student unions start to become hubs of sustainability within their local community, through embedding sustainability in the curriculum, academic and support departments, all the residents and their local community, we're going to be equipping skills with the students with the skills, knowledge and experience to leave education as part of the solution to the world's really quite serious environmental challenges, rather than part of the problem. I'm pleased now to hand over to Anna Lopez, who heads up the University of Greenwich Sustainability Hub, to talk about her work with students in South London.
Okay. Hello everyone, thank you for taking time to listen to our presentation today. I have with me Lauren Newbury, who is one of our Green Ambassadors. So she'll be talking to you later on about her experience of being a Green Ambassador for our project. But before we do that, I'll give a bit of an overview about the Greenwich Sustainability Hub. So it is a new project. It was launched in November 2013. And we were one of the 26 universities to be selected by the NUS to run a nationwide scheme. Our aims really are to increase sustainable behaviours among students, but also the wider community of our partnership work that we're doing. To improve students' employability skills, so we do that through having a Green Ambassador programme and also volunteers, and also to enable students to have a bigger impact on the university, so through things like the campaigns and projects or actually working with university departments. And we also aim to provide better links with the community through our collaborative programs and partnerships as well. We do this through sort of three main strands of work. So our portfolio consists of outreach to schools by providing education sustainability development. So what we're doing with that is that we're working with primary, secondary and colleges to design and deliver workshops around sustainability. We also provide outreach to businesses, and that's through the Green Enterprise program, and that's really helping businesses become more sustainable and also recognising and rewarding them for doing so. We are also working on student engagement through various events and activities, and also providing students with opportunities to get involved. We've received funding, as Emily stated, from the NUS Students Green Fund, and we've got that for 2 years, and we're one of about 20 universities to receive the funding. Okay, so our project portfolio is in a bit more detail. Green Impact. It's a nationwide environmental certification scheme, and it's run by the NUS, but it's supported locally by us. In universities, colleges, students' unions, and also now business community as well. We actually run it at the University of Greenwich and also at the Students Union at the University of Greenwich as well. So our project aims around Green Impact is that we achieve goals in 2015. We also are aiming to support 3 colleges to achieve Green Impact from by 2015 and 10 SMEs to achieve Green Impact from by 2015. For our Education for Sustainable Development work, we are designing and delivering workshops on sustainability in schools and colleges. We're also constructing an online toolkit for sustainability champions. So that's actually in businesses and in schools, so if people wanting to deliver sustainability training or workshops. And we're also fostering collaboration between colleges, so we have a colleges network to help us do that, and are aiming to work with 11 SME institutions to basically share best practice and also support them with sustainability policies and any sustainability problems that we encounter. So our aims are that we deliver 1 workshop for Key Stage 2, 3 workshops for Key Stage 3, and 1 workshop for students aged 15 and over. Our campaigns and events work, that consists of working around Green Week, Fair Trade Fortnight, the Sustainability Show, which is an annual event, our Grow at Home initiative, and also our Campaigns and Projects Fund, which is a fund of £10,000 available for student-led projects over 2 years. Our main aims for that are to engage more students in our projects and events. We've got a target of 5,000 students, which we think we can achieve. We're also working to increase positive environmental behaviours and actions amongst students. So by then getting involved in our events, campaigns, our Grow at Home initiative, where they can get a Grow at Home kit that they can use to grow sort of small herbs and salads, vegetables for themselves, and also our on-campus market as well. We also want to see inclusive student-led sustainability activities. So our sustainability show is entirely student-led, and our campaigns and projects will help students who've got other ideas to actually make them a reality. Okay, so employability targets. Over the 2 years, we aim to create 12 green ambassadors, and we also aim to recruit enough volunteers, and that will have actually at least 120 volunteer hours recorded. To explain in more detail about the Green Ambassador scheme, in year 1 we recruited 6 Green Ambassadors, and we've got all of their lovely faces there. Essen is our campaigns and events Green Ambassador, so she'll work on the student engagement side, so anything around sustainability show, Green Week, Fair Trade Fortnight, etc. There's Patrick and Maria, who work on the education and training side, so that's going into schools and colleges, actually designing the workshops, putting together all the content, and going there to deliver it to the students. And we've got Judith, Lauren and Gabriel, who work in the Green Impact Work. So that's across the colleges, the Students Union, and also in the business and organisations that we're working with outside the university. So, shall I pass on to you? So I'm going to pass on to Lauren, who's going to talk about what it is to be a Green Ambassador and her experience of it now.
Okay, so when we started as Green Ambassadors, we set some targets to work towards. One is improving confidence, improving confidence, gaining greater insight into using sustainability in a wider context. Okay, so I studied BSc Geography and doing an MSc in Employability. Initially, I was an intern sustainability team, so through this, I gained great insight sustainability in the university context, helping out the University Champion, taking part in behaviour change campaigns and awareness building through the impact. I was also involved in environmental impact and non-remediation investigations, through that writing up technical reports and creating conceptual models. As well as working a range of communications for students and staff. And then as special helper, I to run the Sustainability Society for students, and then became a Green Ambassador. So this involves working with a range of stakeholders, meeting, sharing and facilitating meetings, creating various presentations with various people, coming up with various reports, networking, communicating with a range of stakeholders.
Okay, so as Lauren summed up there, it's a really good opportunity for students to be a Green Ambassador because they get to learn quite a broad set of skills and have lots of different experiences with it. So things from project management to sort of learning professional skills and stakeholder engagement skills. And also we offer package training to the Green Ambassadors that is around project management, communications, Green Impact Officer training, Green Impact Project Assistant training. So there's quite a lot there. We've also run public speaking training as well. So it's a good experience for students over the years. For other students, they can get involved in volunteering. So the different examples of volunteers that we might have would be Green Impact Project Assistants. So we're aiming for between 10 and 20 this year to work on our Green Impact Enterprise programme. These students will volunteer for a minimum of 2 hours a week, and they'll be trained to provide administrative and communication support to the organisations that are undertaking Green Impact. That might consist of helping them to complete the workbooks for the accreditation, motivating and encouraging the team to do this as well. So they might be planning out the steps to achieving the accreditation. And then also understanding the organisations work on what sustainability means to them and where it fits in with their work. And all the hours contribute to the volunteer toolkit that we have here at Students Union. We have an annual award for that. And different schools also run employability passports. So the business school will have, they actually register the hours that students volunteer, and that goes towards their passport at the end of the year. Green impact auditors, again, we are looking at between 10 and 20, and again, that's to go into the organisations that are doing green impact enterprise. They will assess and validate the Green Impact Commission, so we'll look at the workbooks and the work that's going on in the organisation, just to validate that they've actually got the stage that they've applied for. They'll also make recommendations for improvement. And again, these go contribute to the volunteer support and employability passports as well as them getting the training to do that and the experience of working with those organisations. For students who want to get involved in activities and events, we've got Greenwich and Tokyo Fortnight volunteers. So in our first year, we've had 5 already, and these volunteers have helped out with the logistics of organising the event. So helping set up schools, helping run the schools. They've also helped out with the promotion of communication. Some students have actually run events and activities themselves. So we've had students who've wanted to run film nights for Greenwich, for example. And again, they contribute to the volunteer toolkit and employability passport. The sustainability shows, that's our big annual event, and our first show will be happening this November. It's a student-led event, so actually the planning group consists of students, and they report to our our campaigns and events green ambassador, who provides the kind of link to the steering group and the planning group. So the planning group will have an events manager, a communications and creative design manager, manager, etc. And getting involved in those roles, the students will get events management experience. In year 2, it will be sustainable fashion shows, so we'll actually add a bit more of a creative element to the show. And again, all the hours that they volunteer will not only give them sort of extra skills and experience, but it will also contribute to the volunteer toolkit and employability passport. Okay, so more information can be found on our website, or you can email us at greenambassadors@ac.uk. So I hope you found that interesting. I am now going to pass on to Kate from Gloucester, who talks about employability at their university. Thank you.
Hi, thanks for that, Anna. Hello, everyone. I'm Kate from the University of Gloucestershire. I'm actually in the EAUC offices here with Emma because they're based on the University of Gloucestershire campus. So hence why I'm in the shot with Emma here. Right, so Greener Gloucestershire, what are we doing? Right, so as you probably already know, if you know anything about the Students Green Fund project already, we're not the only Students Green Fund project that are engaging with social enterprise as a model. I know that Lancaster, Leeds, Bedfordshire, City University, Leicester, they've all developed projects that are geared towards creating more student-led enterprises that directly address the issues of sustainability. But I'm going to talk a bit about what we're doing today. So I don't know how much people in the webinar already know about social enterprise, but a bit of background, it's a business that trades for a social or environmental purpose, which obviously ties very well into the Students Green Fund as there's a lot of focus on legacy and carrying on the projects in the long term. In the long term, our businesses that students start should be able to independently fund their projects through enterprising activities, which obviously in the current economic climate is quite important. Third sector funding is increasingly squeezed, and it's harder to get funding for these kind of environmental and kind of sustainability projects. But we're hoping that by introducing students to ways and means of achieving social change without reliance on grant funding, we're helping them to think creatively and overcome that kind of financial obstacle element. And from the Students Union point of view, and I'm sure it'll be the same from your organisation's point of view, it means that every year more students will be able to get involved and improve their skills with long-term sustainability projects without worrying about sourcing increased funding or continued funding for those projects. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the social enterprises we already have on campus. We're encouraging students to start their own social enterprises, and through this they gain business skills, they can actively apply principles of sustainability through enterprising activities, which takes it beyond the kind of quite understood environmental aspect of sustainability and teaches sustainability as social and economic in a practical and real life way. So this is our Cheltenham Chilli company, who I hope some of you might have heard of already. The Cheltenham Chilli company started through an NUS funding last year, and it's just been growing and growing. We grow chilies on campus in our allotment. It's student-led, students do all the branding, sales, marketing, product development, and we're selling locally, and hopefully it'll only continue to grow. So that's the Cheltenham Chilli company. The money goes back into the business promoting local and sustainable food, and also trying to increase more student opportunities for that kind of thing. The Beekeeping Society have started Beehive, so that there is Charlotte. She's one of our students who's been leading the project, and she's been absolutely fantastic. There'll be a quote from her later on. And this is on-campus apiaries that they're going to sell the products of the hives. And Core Blimey, our juice and cider company, which is, we're hoping eventually to be able to produce apples from our own apple trees on campus. We've got a press, we've got a crusher, and we're hoping to be able to do the whole process from apple to drink. But at the moment we get it produced by a local cider company, Seven Cider, and students do all the branding and sales. But that's what we're working towards in the long term. And again, the money goes back into promoting local food, more opportunities. Yeah, okay, so, did I skip a slide? Yes, there we go. So why would a student get involved with one of our social enterprises? Well, we really feel that students who are becoming involved in the social enterprises with us are changing the way that they relate to business ethics and gaining a broader understanding of corporate social responsibility and the possibility that business can be a vehicle for positive change instead of just something that you do as a job or to earn money for yourself. So it can be a positive factor in kind of striving to a better world. And hopefully these are skills and values that will follow them into their future careers. Okay, so this is a quote from Charlotte Powell, who you saw earlier holding a hive, one of the hive things. She's a first-year biology student, and she's head of the beekeeping project that we're starting up now. I'll give you a second to read that quote. We were really proud of it. And from what she's been saying about her involvement in social enterprise, it's obvious that Charlotte sees kind of beyond just making money through her beekeeping business. Her involvement in the social enterprise has given her a deeper understanding and involvement in sustainability beyond environmental factors. It's linked her with students and staff and into the local community through the beekeeping activities and presented an opportunity for many students to pick up a new and unusual skill. Further, she's managed the entire project independently, well, support from the SU, but she's been designing risk assessments, Gantt charts, budgeting and sourcing. She's held steering groups. She's liaised with local stakeholders and applied for planning permission and created products to sell in order to sustain the enterprise and ensure the expansion and legacy that we're after. So undoubtedly, these are skills that will transfer to any kind of business situation that she might be in the future. Here's another quote from a first-year marketing and advertising student, Kate Lorraine Francis. For Kate, it was a slightly different angle that she was taking on it. So she came into it looking for more skills, and she called the Cheltenham Chilli company CV Gold, which we were quite happy with. And clearly she's sort of trying to develop the skills alongside her course, but during that she's engaged with sustainability and making a difference in the community. So she thought it would be a great idea to get some more experience, and she recognised that the market is very competitive for graduates, and alongside that we've managed to introduce her to concepts of sustainability and a different way of doing business. So what are we doing next? I think it's fair to say that the University of Gloucestershire hasn't had a fantastic culture of student engagement. We do struggle to get students along to things sometimes, but we really feel that the creation of social enterprises through the Students Green Fund has challenged that, and we really feel that the increased engagement of students is due to linking sustainability with employability and enterprise. So we feel like that's been really successful. We're moving towards a more unlimited type model. I don't know if any of you have heard of unlimited. It's a funding pot for social enterprises with small try-it pots of about £500 and lower, and then bigger do-it pots for £5,000 projects. So whether you're just kind of trying to patent your product or improve your business a little bit, you need an extra boost financially, or you're starting a new enterprise and you need, substantial funding. We're trying to link up with the movement in Gloucestershire generally for social enterprise, and link students with kind of the wider community, open it up to local colleges. For instance, we're designing a touring workshop that will go around the local colleges to introduce them to social enterprise and that kind of culture of innovation that we really want to encourage. And hopefully this will end up creating a network of social enterprises across our county. So hopefully this will tie into innovation and business more broadly. So we're bringing sustainability to the business community and those business-minded students, as well as engaging students who are already interested in sustainability with concepts of business that they can use in their later life, and that will be a great experience for them. Okay, so if anyone's got any questions, these are some contact details for us. I'm Kate Arnold, I'm the project manager, and Silas is our social enterprise coordinator, so he specialises in the social enterprise element of our project. So feel free to get in contact with him as well and check out our website. Right, I think that's all from me. Any questions, I'd be glad to hear them later on, but for now I'm going to pass you across to Peng, who is with the University of Worcestershire and their EnergizeWorcester project.
Hi, I hope you can hear me. Hi, my name is Peng Li. I'm really glad to be here today. And in the next 15 minutes or so, I will be explaining to you a little bit about EnergizeWorcester. What do we do? What's our objective? And how do we pursue the project? And I will specifically focusing on the employability aspect of EnergizeWorcester, and hopefully you will find that useful. So let's begin. What is EnergizeWorcester? Well, same as Anna and Kate. Sorry, I'm sure you must hear the phone call in the background. Anyway, so what is EnergizeWorcester? Same as Anna and Kate, and we've been funded by NUS Students Green Fund. The project we have developed was actually adopting from the learning from a previous project. We've been working with local county council and the city council on training students as a trained energy surveyor to conduct energy survey. And through the learning, we found actually students find it very engaging by engaging with the sustainability project, and also it helps them to learn and adopt a very useful sustainable behavior, which in the past we found very difficult to engage. So by taking on the learning, we managed to develop a new project which is called EnergizeWorcester, and the focus is on the behavior change aspect of helping students develop more sustainable behavior. And our aim is trying to develop a cost-effective model to help students live in a private accommodation to learn and develop good energy habits. Our project was supported by a range of organizations, as you can see on the list. And in order to test the most effective way to encourage sustainable behavior, we have implemented a number of different interventions, such as peer-to-peer support, financial incentives, or even installation of smart metering. And we're also trying to replicate the project in Birmingham University next year in order to further test the methodology we had through a very different background. I'm not sure if you're aware of Worcester University. We're not very traditional university. We have a very high percentage of mature students, and in general, our students live in a private accommodation tend to live in a very isolated area. They are not very easy to find. Where in comparison, and imagine in many university towns, students tend to live in a very concentrated area. So the community dynamics are different. We are hoping that our project can test the difference, and hopefully we can create, as a legacy, we can create a very useful, cost-effective model that can be used in any other university towns across the country. So how do we do it then? First of all, we recruit and train students as a certified professional energy advocates to support their peers with energy advice and with in-house service support, produce energy reports. And I will be talking a little bit more detail on how we do that in the latter part of the presentation. We also developed an app, an online app, where participants can input their energy usage, and they will get instant feedback on how much energy used in comparison with the national database within a particular month or period. And also for some more advanced users, then they will be able to input more detailed property information, so they can get more accurate calculation on the heat loss of the property and potential demand for this particular type of property, and then compare with what they actually use. Hopefully, it will give people, or particularly in students, a more realistic vision of how their energy consumption and how their behavior link up with the property energy efficiency, and hopefully, students become more experienced and more aware what kind of property they should demand in the future, and hopefully, we're thinking as a long-term plan. In this way, with this kind of demand experiences students have in the future, they will demand better property in the future, and do their bit for shaping the environmental impact for the society as long term. And obviously, we offer a financial incentive to encourage participation and commitment that won't test if that's the better way to encourage behavior change, or do we have any other methods such as installation of smart metering as technological support. And in terms of more details on how we're going to do employability in the next few slides, I was just talking to you briefly about 4 different approaches we have here. And as any other student green fund project, we value employability enhancement as top of our objective. And I don't think we recruit students because we think it's cheaper way to operate the project, but actually we think it's an opportunity we can offer students with a wide range of opportunities to help them, support them, their key skill development, and hopefully with the experiences through participation, they will become more aware of what they can do and obviously learn different interests. So I will go into a little bit more details on how we implement each part of it. And first of all, let's begin with the developmental curriculum related to professional skills. And in our university, we have a substantial number of students who are studying digital media and communication. Those students do not usually engage with sustainability as they don't find their skill or interest much. So in order to change that sort of perception and in order to engage those kind of students, we have managed to collaborate with one of our academics from the digital media course through a module, as they call a pressure module, a pressure project, and Energize as a client, given 5 groups of 5 students a brief on what we want to do in terms of marketing communication. And the student will go out do their marketing research, develop their creative concepts, and after 24 hours, they will have feedback to present in front of the judging panel on their creative concepts. And this is giving students a very genuine, real feeling of what does it like, what kind of pressure they will be dealing with in the real world. And in fact, the winning project will be picked up by the judging panel and will be adopted into our key marketing communication strategy. And I think this project itself creating 2 important aspects from our point of view. First of all, we offer creative students a very real opportunity to engage with sustainable project, which in the other way they might not find engaging and interesting. And secondly, as a project, we will be benefited from students' expertise, and as a student themselves, they must find they must have a lot of experiences and to engage with peer students. And in this way, we actually learn from them as well. Okay. So this is the product that we produce, and this is the winning project we have produced by developing various different artwork. And from our feedbacks from other students, they definitely find the creative work they produce as being very recognizable. So I think it's in a way we actually really appreciate our students' contribution. And And here's another example of how we engage students by utilizing their professional skill set. I have been working very closely with one of the animation students who is also one of my energy advocates, and his key ambition was and interest was in filmmaking and animation. And as a project, we do feel that we need to enhance our multimedia communication to students. So we've been working together to produce a series of animated videos to show students about EnergizeWorcester, and Jack, the student who's been working with me, found the opportunity incredibly useful, as he said that students are rarely being hired to work in a project that actually value their work, but also having a genuine realistic impact, and especially being paid as well. So he found that himself very motivated, and he's very much looking forward to develop more skills set through the project participation in the future. And in fact, his videos, once they've been uploaded on the YouTube channel, they've been viewed over 1,000 times for each one of them. So definitely it helps us in terms of developing awareness campaign. And more importantly, I think his skill actually being seen by other people from other universities. Even one university actually approached me, trying to ask me, where did I get this professional company to help us develop this animation product? I said, no, actually it was a student, so they were really, really impressed. So I think in a way we should be aware, actually students in the university, they already have a very good professional skill set. They just need to give an opportunity to practice and to demonstrate what they can do. And I think as a project itself, we definitely provide that kind of opportunity. And frankly speaking, myself was a fresh graduate not long ago, so I think I've been very fortunate to be given this opportunity to manage a project that can help other students to learn and develop through participation process. So next one, as I mentioned earlier, we have a professional certificate offer to a selection of students as well. We plan to recruit 5 students from each university in Worcester and Birmingham to train us. The training package was through by National Energy Action, and the certificate is a City and Guild Level 3 Energy Awareness Training Program. I'm not sure if you're aware of the City and Guild. It is a very well-known certification awarding body, and level 3 is one of the highest level for energy awareness in particular. So once the student complete their training and exams, they will become an accredited energy advisor. And I think with the training itself, we feel that it serves 2 different purposes. For the energy advocates, they will be learn a skill that are very, very different from what they used to do, and I will explain a little bit on that a bit later as well. And I think this skill is not just a academic skill or life skill, but more importantly, it's a career path that somehow they might in the past never thought of, but now they have that kind of option. And also, I think as an energy advisor who holding a professional certificate, they will find themselves in a high degree of competence to communicate with the students in a message of energy efficiency, and hopefully their student being communicated with also find they are the authority and gain more trust from them to receive the information, and hopefully that they can be benefited from that change. And aside from energy advocates, we're also planning to recruit 25 students in Birmingham next year as EnergizeWorcester to support energy survey in a house, which is similar as what we did in Worcester in the previous project before EnergizeWorcester. We train students as energy surveyor to conduct energy survey in a house, and hopefully they will support the citywide retrofit project as well. And again, I think this kind of project, this kind of skill training set is very useful for students who learn something that's different from what they did in their academic study, and hopefully it's become a very useful life skill for them as well. Here we go, some pictures. Here is a picture taken when the student in Worcester has attended their energy awareness certificate. And you probably can't really see me in the picture, but I am in the picture, but I'm just standing right behind the actual banner because it was a very windy day, and I'm pretty sure I don't want it to fall. Anyway, as I mentioned, the students all come from a very different academic background. If you look from the left to the right, Jack on the left with woolly hat, he is an animation student I mentioned earlier. And Peter in the middle, he's a forensic science student. And Rosa is a psychology student. And Jake on the right, he's the one you usually would associate with sustainability. He's a environmental management student. But in fact, he was specialized in policy. So really, none of them have any idea of energy efficiency or very little experiences in terms of that. But I think certainly go through the training process, they have developed skill set that they never really have in the past. And so I do think as a project itself, we do offer something quite different. Here's some feedback from students we have received. Through different levels, and I think the messages they send to us give it to very important perspective from a project point of view. I think first of all, it's the life skill and the awareness of why it's important to live in an energy efficient home. And I think students, as NUS previous home physical study survey has indicated, a lot of students do not have the kind of skill or experiences in living a good energy efficient home. They don't even know it is their right to demand for a good quality housing. But certainly through the training program, students have learned and acquired that kind of knowledge. And certainly we are hoping that this kind of knowledge can be transferring to not just for themselves, but also for their peer group. And certainly from the feedback, it shows that our students definitely wish to impact other students with the knowledge they acquired. And we are, as a project, are closely monitoring how this kind of impact can influence students, and how to what extent it kind of influence other students for the long term. And hopefully we'll have some more positive results coming from next year, the whole year for study. And as a project, we do also support a small number of opportunities for placement and internship. The student you see in here, the American students from Worcester in America. They came from the Worcester Polytechnic Institute, and in their university they have a summer module which is called Global Perspective, and each year they're taking a group of students who are working in a sustainable community project anywhere in the world. And in the UK, they usually work in London, and this is the first time ever they work in Worcester. And so I think, as a project, we will feel very honored to have them to join us. And their work will be they'll be working for approximately 7 weeks with us and with local city council and with Transition Worcester Group to help local communities develop a very feasible action plan for the future retrofit opportunities. And also, because our project has up and running, and we feel that we have a demand to increase our digital communication, and in order to match the kind of workload we have, and next year we're going to hire a full-time intern to help me as a digital communication coordinator. And for the students' benefit, we'll have a whole placement year, which is mandatory for the module as well. So he can have opportunity to practice and to implement his skill, as well as develop new skills through his working experiences. And finally, to the voluntary opportunities. We, as a project, we didn't really hire any volunteers in this year because we're trying to pay our students as much as possible. However, we do still have 2 people working with us as a volunteer because they were influenced by their friends and their housemates who are actually energy advocates, and they find the benefit they've been participating in this project, so they voluntarily volunteer for us. And each of them actually have done over 50 hours so far. And in the next year, we're thinking this is actually a really good idea to expand our workforce and to get more students engaged. So we're planning on hire a team of volunteers for each university in Birmingham and Worcester to hopefully offer students more opportunities to enhance their life skill and give them better employment perspective as well as risk energy conservation awareness. So I think that will be everything from me. If you do feel any questions, then feel free to contact me, and my contact information are here. So thank you for listening. Shall I pass on to Emma or Emily?
Hi, Peng. Thank you. No, that's fine. Thank you very much. Brilliant. Thanks again to all of our speakers. We now have a good 15 minutes for opportunity to ask any questions. I think, Emily, I'll unmute you as well. You are unmuted. I don't know if you want to facilitate this.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Anna, Kate, and Peng. As I said earlier, we are only 8 months into these senior projects, and as funded projects, they're being closely monitored as well to evaluate the impact that they've had through techniques like skills assessment for volunteers and student staff. They're also using reflective diaries, blogs, and of course baseline and follow-up questionnaires and so on. So by the end of the 2 years, we have a fantastic set of data and feedback from students who have been engaged with these pilots. 4 things really struck me from the 3 presentations we've heard today. The first was about the range of opportunities available for students. So from really small actions that they can take project management roles, so having a range of opportunities they can partake in. It was interesting to hear how much the project was happening to curriculum areas as well. I know lots of the other projects being funded through the Green Fund are doing this. So creating live briefs for students through their curriculum and making it really relevant to students and relevant to the discipline that they're studying. Also allowing students to take the lead on the project, which particularly with Gloucestershire's project, students have taken over total project management of their social enterprises, and the Student Union is providing support and so on. And actually, the students to take the lead on a project like that is really exciting, and of course, it allows them to develop so many key employability skills. And the other thing was around helping students to understand what skills they've gained. So particularly through giving training and skills assessment, talking them through what specific skills they have developed as a result of their engagement with the project or their volunteer opportunity or their employment opportunity, in fact. So before I open the conversation up to hear what else is happening throughout the campuses in the UK, are there any specific questions for project staff? If you want to type your question in, that might be easier if you haven't got a microphone, or just unmute yourself to answer questions. Ask questions even.
Hi, Dave. Do you have a question for everybody?
It was really a specific question for Peng, if I can. I was interested in the City and Guilds Energy Advisor course, and I wondered what sort of time commitment was needed, by the participants for that.
Hi, thank you. Yes, regarding the City and Guild, the training package we actually made was trying to make it as flexible as possible. So students will go through an online training package, which they will access anytime, and they do as many times as they want to, and through the sort of self-study session. And then the second stage would be a one-day session of revision session to help students clarify anything they don't actually understand or they feel they need to talk to someone professional. And then there will be a half-day exam, which will go through 2 paper exams and 2 practical exams. And that's the package we have for this year. And next year, I'm in talking with National Energy Action at the moment. They were trying to develop a webinar session in order to reduce the cost of it. So hopefully they don't actually need to send anyone come down to the university and do the training day. They instead have a webinar session. So hopefully they will become more flexible for any participants. But the exam has to be done in one day. and the student needs to pass all 4 exams in order to get a certificate. Thank you.
Thanks, Peng. Any other specific questions for the 3 projects before we open it up? If anything comes to mind, just put it in the chat icon. So I'd now like to open the conversation up. I think we've got present Nottingham-Trent University, Brunel, Sunderland, Liverpool City, and Trans, I think we have present as well with Gary. So if any of you who are present would like to offer up any case studies from your campuses about projects that have worked to enhance student employability skills, or anything that hasn't particularly worked, we're keen to learn in this webinar as well. One of the key things we've been doing with the Students Green Fund projects is share learning. So what has worked, what hasn't worked, what hasn't worked is almost more useful in many ways. If you'd like to contribute, either speak on the microphone or type your question into the chat pod. I know Emma is watching the chat pod.
Hello. Okay, so we've got a question here from Sue Sipple, and she's, well, a comment potentially. She says, it's been really useful to the presenters today, so it's nice. These projects are reflecting what is going on here at Nottingham-Trent University on the academic and operations side and by the Student Union. I think the 2 approaches do complement the feed on each other, and as mentioned, the projects related to this funding is in its early stage, and I look forward to seeing where we are in a year's time. So that's nice, that's promising.
Any other case studies from other campuses as well? Anything that has worked or hasn't worked?
Hi there. Yeah, nothing specific, but just to say that we do have a number of projects underway, but it's a little bit too early, you know, in the development to be able to say, you know, too much about them at this point in time. But hopefully, you know, over the next few weeks, we'll have a bit more that we can contribute to this. But a lot of our social enterprise work has been done with schools, and that will be ongoing right the way through to July. So I dare say we can feed back on that, you know, fairly soon.
Great, thanks, Dave. As in when recruiting volunteers or ambassadors, are there any good buzzwords to use? We found a mixed response to engagement and the right words to motivate students. Kate, Peng, Anna, any suggestions on that?
Hello, yes, I'd love to feedback on that one. We have accidentally used green a lot for a lot of our sustainability projects. So we're the green team, and we have the Greener Gloucestershire project. But actually, our project is very focused on reaching out to those students that haven't engaged in sustainability yet. So mainly through sport, which is very big at our university, and enterprise and employability. So whenever we've sort of used those approaches, we've completely gone away from the word green. We haven't used the word sustainable, and it's only when people start engaging with our kind of our projects, our social enterprises. Obviously, we're quite upfront about what a social enterprise is. We want to get people thinking about how a business can, you know, be a positive vehicle for change, and that's one of the first things we introduce them to. But we don't shout green at them before they arrive. So hopefully eventually our social enterprise stuff will be grouped together quite a lot with our enterprising activities and our kind of degree plus programs anyway. So it will be more about developing yourself. And then as people go along the path of either a social enterprise or any placements, we want people to be able to reflect upon how it relates to sustainability. So that's sort of the angle we've took. I'm not sure what other people have done, but that's where we are.
I completely echo that, Kate. I think it's important that we are looking specifically at the skills that students are going to be gaining from taking part in the opportunities, rather than necessarily just saying this is a sustainability or a green opportunity. You will then only be appealing to those who are already engaged on this issue. We would also suggest that the opportunities are tailored. So if you are looking to engage a specific group of students on part of your project that looks at communication, for example, then you're tailoring your call out volunteers to the particular discipline you're looking at. So yeah, that's what we would advise from our end. Anything else from the rest of the attendees? I've put up a link to the research that we did with the HEA about student attitudes towards sustainability. So that's available online if anyone would like to download it and have a look through it.
Lovely, thank you, Emily. I'm not sure whether you have seen Sue's left another comment on the chat to everybody there. I didn't know whether you wanted to discuss through that one about they have a project called the Future Factory. I'm sure everybody can read that there.
Yeah, it's a really interesting project. Actually, I can have a look at it a second, Sue, but if you've got the link to it, that would be fantastic, so that other people can have a look at what's happening through Future Factory, because it's a really interesting project.
Hi, Sue. Sorry, what university are you at? I could probably put this in the chat box. It's Kate, by the way.
Sue is at Nottingham-Trent University. I think.
Okay, brilliant. I don't know about you, Emily, but I feel pretty confident and happy to round it up there. That was lovely. Thank you again to everybody. Thanks to our speakers today, and thank you everybody for logging in, taking the time. There's been some really useful case studies that come through from this. Or I can just see that Sue's left her link there that everybody can click on if you want to. And yeah, brilliant. As I said earlier, the recorded webinar will be uploaded on the Sustainability Exchange later. Everybody can view that, no problem. Share it with colleagues and fellow EAUC members. And there will be a short survey sent later as well. So thanks everybody, and I'll send you an email later.
Thank you very much, everybody. Speak to you soon.